seated. Thank you, sir. So there I was, in the office, one of those office days, you know, you on the computer screen for hours, getting intimate, emails and reports and documents, and I turn on Pandora, which is a great thing. I listen to the commercials I don't want to pay. You know, two daughters, one's been to the Rockettes, the other Second City, theater, Broadway. My mother was a professional singer and an actress, so, you know, one of the stations I throw on every once in a while is the Broadway Pandora channel. And there I was, I don't know, this was several months ago, and, you know, Hugh Jackman pops up. So I don't know if you know anything about the actor Hugh Jackman. If you're someone like me, Hugh Jackman's at his greatest in a mutant rage with adamantium claws coming out of his hands, the X-Men, you know, making the world, saving the world from evil mutants. I think that's Hugh Jackman's kind of height of his theater. But here's Hugh Jackman doing a really good impression of Michael Landon, like near the end of Little House. Now, I saw this when it was in Denver. When we first moved to Colorado, someone gave us tickets. It's this drama about the French Revolution. Yeah, okay. So, you know, it was really, I heard the whole thing. Then, years later, there was a movie, Les Mis, the movie. And the title describes every man in the theater that doesn't realize until you're sitting there after you bought your ticket that every word is sung, even when it doesn't need to be sung. And in the movie, as you watch Russell Crowe try to sing, and his career is destroyed throughout the movie. Hugh Jackman plays Jean Valjean, a French man who was put into prison. Comes out of prison, and a priest does a tremendously generous thing. Jean Valjean steals some of the silver in this church. He's brought back, do you remember the story? By the officials to the priest, and said, "Did this man steal from you?" And the priest said, "No. Oh no, I gave him. In fact, he forgot the candlesticks." And the priest, in a really ridiculous medieval moment, if you're a Roman Catholic priest, hands these silver candlesticks to Jean Valjean. Of course, the story in the musical time jumps. I'm never going to read the book. Time jumps, and Jean Valjean is transformed into a successful merchant, a respectable, wonderful, integrated man, and you wonder the whole play if he sold those candlesticks. And of course, you find out at the end he never did. He was given a life. And through the course of the story, he's given, in a moment of great desperation, he's given care of a young girl who he then treats as his own daughter and raises her like his daughter. And so there I am, toiling over really important emails, saving the kingdom of God one email at a time. And this is the epilogue scene, when Jean Valjean is dying at the very end. Now, I saw this, I bought a ticket and saw this movie. I've seen the play twice as a musical. I had never listened to the words. Does anybody remember the words that he sings? He hands a letter to his daughter, Cosette, who's now a young woman. And she and the young man that she loves rush to his side, and they're shocked that he's dying. And he sings, you know, "On this page I write my last confession. Read it well when I and last are sleeping. It's the story of a man that turned from hating and only learned to love when you were in his keeping." I stopped the email. Every memory of being a father to daughter waters flooded into my mind. I had this rush of memories of moments when my heart was expanded because God gave me girls. And girls expand a man's heart and teach us how to be human. You know, and Hugh Jackman, as if he wasn't done, you know, keeps singing. Thanks a lot, Hugh Jackman. You know? And he starts to walk towards, I've seen this play, I've never heard the words. He starts to walk as he dies towards a vision of a priest in a medieval church with more candles than what was in Zion in the Matrix series. I mean, how did they afford 500 candles? But they did. And he's moving towards his death and into heaven. And he sings about when we learn to love another person, we've seen the face of God. And man, every paper on my desk was flooded with tears. Why then? Why did I hear those words? Why was that song on then? I mean, that moment when just love kind of lands. And all of a sudden, those emails were about human beings, people that I deeply loved. And all of a sudden, all those reports and all those charts and all those documents and budgets, they all make sense because at the end of every single one of those things is a person for whom Christ died. A person that I am privileged to know and to serve. And the gratitude that I felt sitting at my dumb computer. For extra Bible bonus points, can anybody tell me the theme of the worship today? Huh? Do unto others is there, but at the root of that, it's about love. The collect, which was written a long time ago, that prayer with which we begin the service, says, without love, we are accounted dead before you. Literally, if we're living and we're not loving, we're literally dead man or woman walking. So Jesus is teaching in this extended, beautiful sermon. In Matthew, the Sermon on the Mount, and Luke, it's the Sermon on the Plain. Winston Churchill called it the greatest ethical exposition in the English language. If you want to learn how to be human, read this part of the gospel. And Jesus completely upends the values of his day and our day. Because the golden rule for Christians is not reflective of all the other statements in world religions, because those are reactive. If someone does something good to me, they say in other traditions, then I'll turn that around and do something good to them. And Jesus says, oh no, we've got better than that. You don't wait. You love first. I asked a man that's been married 52 years, his secret to being a husband, and he said, whoever forgives first wins. As a matter of fact, we both win. Number one, the single hardest challenge in my life as a Christian is not truthfulness, it's forgiveness. Anybody else want to raise your hand on that one? Forgiveness. Notice the active verbs that Jesus uses in this teaching. Love, forgive, give. And I want to correct something that I heard many sermons about when I was growing up. Turn the other cheek does not mean doormat. We are not doormats. Jesus had personal authority in every situation he was ever in. And so did his followers. And so do you. It takes a great deal of inner strength to not fling back what someone's flinging at me. And only God can give me that. Because I am really good at retaliation. You have no idea. Aren't you? Doesn't it feel so enjoyable to unload on someone that's unloaded on us? Oh, and you're going to get extra credit because that's just the week I've had. Jesus says, turn that other cheek. One interesting teaching about that is to say, since all Romans were right-handed, when they slapped with the right hand, they slapped you like a slave. Jesus said, oh no. Look a Roman in the eye, turn the other cheek, and says, if you're going to strike me, you strike me as an equal, you son of a gun. I'm staring you right in the eye. You want my coat? Here's my shirt. Do you need anything else? This is not doormat Christianity. This is a deep sense of belonging, a deep sense of identity, and we've got so much of that we can share it with somebody else. I love the fact that at the very end of that ridiculously long musical, in which people are singing things they could have talked a lot faster, at the end of that, Jean Valjean produces those candlesticks. Why? Does anybody remember why? This is a Scotsman preaching on French culture. Kind of ironic, isn't it, really? Anybody know what Jean Valjean did with those candlesticks? His whole life, as he became a successful man of business, a successful father, a man of integrity and honesty. What was he doing with the candlesticks? I'm not the only one that's seen this on Broadway. Now, come on. He lit them and he prayed with them. Like an altar. He used them for what they were actually intended for. That's how he could be the man that could sing those unbelievable words as he was dying. What does Joseph say to his brothers in today's Old Testament reading you heard about 10 minutes ago? Joseph does the big reveal in Egypt. Everybody remember? His brothers, like every good brother, wants to kill him, but they sell him into slavery instead. This is what your brothers secretly wanted to do to you. Joseph is sold into slavery. He goes to Egypt. He suffers a horrific life of prison and abuse. And he rises to authority to become the prime minister of Egypt. He's not even Egyptian. There's terrible famine. 7 years of famine. They're 2 years in. Dana told you the whole story. And his brothers come to Egypt. The Nile overflows every year on schedule. The breadbasket of the ancient world. They've got plenty of food. Joseph's seen to that. His brothers come. They don't know who he is. Read the story in Genesis. It's wonderful. And here's the reveal. Joseph says, I am Joseph, your brother. Is my father still alive? And the text says very laconically, the brothers could not even speak. Can you think? You don't need a Hebrew degree to think about what they were thinking when they realized the brother that they had tortured and sold into slavery was the prime minister of the only superpower on the planet at the time? How's that going to go for you? Everybody know how that story ends? Joseph wept on the necks of his brothers. He says, you did what you did for evil, but God used it for good. He's able to reflect on his life and see that God had a higher purpose to save his family and everybody around him. Joseph treats his brothers with complete respect, love, and affection for the rest of his life. When their father Moses dies, his brothers freak out again years later because they think now that dad's dead. Anybody remember this moment? Now we're going to get even? And Joseph says, you really don't get it, do you? That there is a higher purpose. reading, the theme of the music, the theme of our opening prayer is love. Because without love, the gospel doesn't make a whole lot of sense. How can we forgive if we don't love? How can we treat others the way we would like to be treated proactively? How can we lend without asking for anything in return? That's ridiculous. And that is absolutely what Jesus is teaching us. We're about to go into a fairly intensive Lent. Would anybody agree with me that the last 2 weeks have been a fairly intensive Epiphany? Things seem to be hitting a lot of walls right now. And for me, this Sunday stands as a reminder about why. Why? Why are we called to follow Jesus? Why are we called to love and forgive and give? Why? Why did Jesus go to Jerusalem at all? Why did we have to follow him? Why does he say, take up your cross, and then you'll start to get me a little bit? Love. Love. There's only true gift that God knows how to give. The gift that Jesus challenges us to share. It's love. We all learn to love while we are in God's kingdom. May I amend Jean Valjean's song. To love another person is to see the face of God in the face of the person that you're called to. It really is all about that kind of love. So get ready. Here we go. In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.